Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and in today's video, we are going to be going over Season of Strife KvK updates. So there's 18 groups here that is making up a lot of kingdoms, and we have the next largest batch of kingdoms from Beleren Season 1, Tamara Season 1, and Beleren Season 2 that will be going into Season of Strife, starting their registration on the 8th of August. So that's in about 7 days from now. And then, of course, we have the pre-Strife. They'll be going in as well. And again, there's not really too many more KvK's, right? It's really mainly Season 2 that you can see here, right? So there's 4 groups, and you got 2 in. So pretty much everyone is going to start working their way to Season of Strife. But I thought, hey, this would be nice to kind of give the largest KvK storyline some updates. So as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us some because it helps out a lot. So let's start with number 1. Now, in this group for SOS 1-1, I think that's what we're going with, right? We have here, for those that are fighting, we got LNV in Nivola. So we're going to head up here top, middle, or north. And we have LNV, GNJA going up against AMZ and AMZ2. We could see here that AMZ and AMZ2 are over here in the purple and pink. And you can see that they have a little bit more land or territory that has been accomplished so far from them on the south side and the north side. However, now it's kind of just going with the Bastion play that you can see here. AMZ has thrown their down, basically blocking the choke and anyone that could be building there. I would imagine probably a similar situation. Yeah, they threw their Bastion down too as well. So no one's really building at this point, but you could say, you know, if it ends up this way, edge out to them, given they have a little bit more territory. Then we get over here to Palanos, which is south or bottom middle. Here we have -GG- with -WP- going up against OKS and #DK#. So on the east side coming, we have GG, we have WP, and then we have DK and OKS up here. Now it looks like there might be a little bit of skirmishing. Okay, maybe setting up for a little fight here at the choke that we can see right now. But again, no one's really, for the most part. Let's see if they have any flags down here on the OKS side. No, so probably just doing a little bit of skirmishing. And then if we go over here to the other side, are they doing any building, any prep work? No, so it's probably a little stagnated, I guess, at this point. In addition, keep in mind, Zone 3 is going to be opening shortly. I don't think this one has, let me see if it has opened already for them. Oh, it has. So Akura has already opened for Zone 3. You can even see here, and I just had to go up, right? Telemakia, Zone 3 is already open. And so Zone 3 is really for, I think, the majority, if not all of the Season of Strife KvK's for the 18 groups, has already opened or will be opening shortly, as we also take a look. But you can see them kind of already filling those areas out, and then we'll kind of be going over some potential Zone 3 matchups too as well as it goes. Okay, let's look at the next group. So here we're going to go to SOS 1-2. And this match is going to be Sophrostia and Ogoru for just kind of how these Zone 1s, or Zone 2s, we should say, have played out. Now, in Sophrostia, we have G3N or Gen with MMMM or M versus UDF and UKQ. Now, you can see here MMM and their team pretty much pushing UKQ and UDF back, so they're kind of taking over Sophrostia. If we go over to Ogoru, we could see here that this matchup was FG with PSC versus HOUW and HOUC. You could see really for the most part that and it looks like they have 50, and then we have HOUC. So maybe they did a name change, or maybe just different alliance that's coming in there. But you can see for the most part, they have pretty much kind of pushed. Oh, actually, let's see here. Did they just do a swap? And I'm tripping. Am I on the wrong side? Sorry, we look at the north side. It's really the south side that we should be looking at here with PSC. And then FG, as we said. So you can see pretty much HOUW and HOUC have won over Ogoru. All right, let's go ahead and move over to group number 3, which is, again, one of the big 3 groups. So this is the TFS, BXS, Noor, EIS group that we have. And you can see a little, ooh, look at this, man. A little bit of like tickle. A little bit of tickle my pickle action going on here. But for the most part, where we ended off was at Sophrostia. It was TFS, AFS, BXS, SXB here in Sophrostia. And you could see that AFS and TFS pretty much have pushed them out. So it's kind of a win for that Zone 2 on them. And then if we go over to Ogoru, there was, I thought, a little bit of just some minor action and like really tiny batches that were happening here. But for the most part, Noor has pretty much won that one. When we look over at Nivola, It looks like we didn't end up having RFS that capped, and I think there was some kind of like muster the hero moments, or like that Helm's Deep in Lord of the Rings Two Towers, where they rush out of Helm's Deep, right? That was kind of what it is with the horses, where they just kind of did I don't know how many rounds of that. I know I at least saw one that was done where they went out to go and do a little bit of open field against EIS and EIL. But for the most part, they really haven't gone head-to-head on this one. But EIS and EIL were able to go ahead and take that. And then Noor also taking Polanos down south. So we'll have to kind of see how the Zone 4s or Zone 3s end up playing out. Let's go to SSS 1-4. And here in this group, we have, this is the BDO, Echo, NATK, and ACDC. Let's get our rock hard on. So let's start with Polanos. This is NATK versus ACDC here. And you can see on this side, we got NA. We got NA up there. I think TK's down here. And then we have ACDC. And then looks like AF up there. Now, not really any action going on here at the moment, at least on the south or the middle part. But we can see here that they're trying to get this Bastion down from AF and NA. Applying some pressure here. It looks like AF, some members from AC are coming in. I would imagine that if some people from TK and DC are on, they'll probably come and assist too as well, unless we're blind and we can't see. But that's really how those things are. It's basically a stalemate, right, in Polanos at the moment. Now let's go north up to Navola, where the next piece of action is happening. This is BDO, BDO2 versus Echo, ECH1. Now, you may remember when across the first day, or up to the first day, where Echo was really pushing BDO and BDO2. And now it looks like them kind of falling back to the top of the ramp. So let me be clear here. They were pushing them as far as look like winning some trades. They were gaining more ground and more territory on the plateau here. But then it looks like falling back with BDO2, pushing them back to the, I guess, bottom of the ramp, if you will. And so now we're kind of getting some back and forth here. Ooh, nice little, I love the continued PvP. That's always enjoyable when there's a lot of PvP that's happening in your Zone 2s. I can only imagine other KvK's wish they were having as much PvP as this group is. So happy to see it, and thank you for shining that beacon down on us all. Yeah, so it looks like that's kind of where the fighting's going. It doesn't look like anything's happening here. Okay, let's get to the next group, which is going to be, I think, 5 we're going to go into now. Now, this is going to be the PTW ROE. We have SSG IMB and SR57 NF57. We're going to start west side with Sophrostia. So here, this is where we have SR57, NF57 on the north side, and then on the south side, we have SSG and IMB, and you can see that they're pretty much getting pushed back, pretty much locked in here, at least on that northwest choke, and not really going anywhere, kind of giving the W here to SR57 and NF57. Let's go to the east side, over here to Agoru. Now here, we end up having PTW and ROE, or sorry, yes, I do, okay, I got that right, thankfully. So PTW, and then we're having a little bit of a standoff here on this northwest bridge over here on Agoru, and you can see PTW and ROE still going at it. You do it, Red and Tuvad. And so, but for the most part, I would say that PTW getting a lot more territory gained, right? So if they end up holding, you know, W kind of goes out to this zone unless we end up seeing some later game pushback, but at least at the moment, right, them having a leg up there and winning out that zone too. Okay, let's go to SOS-6. Now, in this one, we end up having a few alliances that are going at it. One of the other Asian alliances outside of SSG and IMB, we have OTG1 and OTG2 going up against TCX and -TC. That's the Continental right atop alliance in the game. So let's start off here in Navola, where we have DS, which is Dragon Slayers, IS versus DBB and DBR. Now, you could see here where if we're going on the east side first, we have DS, DBC, and I think, where is IS? I wonder. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So it's hard to somewhat tell here at the moment, because I want to say it looks like they are still fighting, but for whatever reason, I'm not. I guess the Bastion, I guess like the counter Bastion play is, I don't know. Like, I see the keep here. I thought the Bastion's supposed to be able to attack Alliance things, but it's not attacking. Oh, there it is. Okay. I just didn't see that happening. Okay. So they are getting attacked. Does it show? Oh, I see. So it does say destroying. Okay. And then wherever that other Bastion was over here, am I blind? I swear I thought they put one down. Maybe it's farther back. Let me zoom out here because I'm tripping right now. Okay, right here. So, and then this Bastion, it looks like should be... Okay, so I guess it's just out of range. So their Bastion, so the DS Bastion's doing some work, but the other one isn't, right? So now we're kind of playing like the slow turtle play here at that point. However, they're not pushing through that choke. It looks like they're kind of allowing DBC to push all the way down and maybe get this disconnect. So they're what? I'm not sure. Are they going to be fighting this out? Are they not fighting this out? Or have they now become friends? I guess I'm curious because, you know, they were able to push them back on this one, but they're letting them build on here, not really applying any pressure. And they also, keep in mind, could be doing this, right? Oh, wait, hang on. Where is it? Dang it. Oh, I got misled there. I was thinking because it looked like here, but it was all cut off. Good thing we zoomed in to double check. But I guess I'm curious on what's going on with the choke point. Like, no one's really pushing there. I guess through this one, is it just because they don't want to mess around with the bastion and maybe it's a little bit too defensively guarded? But if that's the case, why were they not maybe trying to push them back here or build? Are they saving flags? Do they not want to use those flags? They're saving those for zone 3? I guess, I don't know. I'm sure someone will let me know. Let's go to Polanos, which is down south. Here we end up having OTG1, OTG2, and TCX and TC. We can see here that they've pretty much got pushed back. So you have TC, and then wherever TCX is, if I can click on the right blue, there we go. And then they've pushed back OTG and OTG1, and so they're kind of winning out the Polanos region. All right, let's go to, I think we're on 6. Let's go to number 7. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. We'll try and speed this up just a little more. Impimendo. Probably the worst Spanglish word ever. Okay, moving on. Let's start with Sofrostia. So it's IMN, I am Squiggly N versus MBH. Here, however, I'm not sure exactly if that's the case because they're like not attacking each other. So maybe they're cool and they just decided, okay, we're just going to let one side build a little bit farther than the other. Teach their own. MSC, so let's go to Nivola. So we got MSC, MBH versus NTS, NTA. NTS and NTA coming on the east or from the east. And you can see they've gained a little bit more territory here in Nivola than the MSC and MBH group has, which is here. However, it also doesn't look like they're really pushing them right now from what we can see. Same thing here. I don't think I've seen a Bastion go down unless there is one maybe over here around the choke. There's not. So they're not getting pushed on that side and no one's really pushing here. Okay, let's go over to Polanos, which is down south. And Polanos, it looked like it was IMN, IMW versus JGN, YGN. However, you can see that at least based on how the map looks, they're kind of getting pushed back, right? So you have YGN over here. Maybe they're just kind of turtled and defending the choke, but I don't see a Bastion here. I do see one down over here for the IMN group, so maybe that's why they're not pushing. Possibly the same could be over here from JGN. I don't see a Bastion being put down. I don't see one near over here. So yeah, I guess they're just kind of not attacking anymore, but the IM group has one over Polanos. Okay, let's go over to number 8. So number 8, we have 2 regions getting some action right now, or were possibly. We have Agoru and Sofrostia. So let's start on the west side. With Sofrostia, we have POTC versus L-B. Now, POTC, for the most part, has pretty much won this over. You can see L-B is already back at their pass, so Sofrostia is pretty much won at that point. Let's go over to Agoru, and here we end up having HXV versus LF exclamation and Viking or VKNG. However, you can see here that HXV has pretty much pushed both of the alliances back to their chokes, and I don't think anything is really happening. There's no action that's going on. There's no more additional building coming out for green as well, and so that area is pretty much won by them. All right, let's go over to SOS 1-9. This one, we have at least 3 to maybe 4 regions or zone 2s that are seeing some actiones. Let's start with Polanos. Now, Polanos, I'm still a little iffy because I've seen, it looked like SHP ampersand. I think that's the way I say that symbol. Or sorry, it was an SHP hashtag. So it looks like they're pushing up. SHP ampersand did actually have this. And then you see SJ colon, or is it double colon or semicolon B has, or I'll just SJB, probably should just say the letters, have pushed a little bit more past kind of the 50-yard line, but not too much. So I'm curious on maybe how much action was going on. Or have they just decided, hey, let's just kind of call deuces and go 50-50 or go splitsies on that check? We'll see how zone 3 or once the level 4 pass is open and what happens there. Let's go over to Sofrostia. So here we have SJT going up against A277 and WGG. However, we can see that SJT has pretty much pushed both of them back, or maybe they just didn't push at all. I don't see any like roads or any inactive flags, so maybe they just pushed those, but SJT has pretty much won over Sophrostia, or at least has the most territory. When we go up to Nivola, we have WM and RK going up against WGL and WGG. However, you could see that WGL and GG have been pushed back here in Nivola, with the other two, again, being VM and RK, gaining most of the territory. Then we'll go ahead and look over at Agoru, which is on the east side. And here we have SHP Ampersand versus WM. And at the moment, you can see that SHP Amp has pushed them mostly, and it doesn't look like VM is coming back out anytime soon. Okay, let's go over to SOS 1-10. We're doing pretty good here on pacing. I'm shocked. Okay, we got two regions, Nivola and Agoru, to take a look at. So let's go east. A little trippy there. We have AOD versus FSK2. AOD has pretty much applied a lot of pressure. There's not really any action going on over here at the bridge. As you can see, no one's really building. They're building over here to the corner. I'm assuming probably get a village. It was. So they have kind of won over that area for AOD. Let's go up north to Nivola, where we have FSK, FSK going up against YMOG and GC. You can see FSK pretty much taking over most of the territory and kind of winning over Nivola. There's not really any action going on over here too as well. I don't know if we have a bastion down from either side. It doesn't look like it, but neither side is pushing through each other, and that kind of wraps up what we're seeing there in Zone 2. Let's go to SOS 1-11. And we can see here we got two groups, Nivola and Polanos. Will start up north. Here in Nivola, we have SWS versus Laws. And you can see here that Laws is pretty much kind of went back to their pass, with SWS pushing the most. So who knows how much action was going on here. I believe they were doing some fighting, even though I can't remember if we actually had a chance to look at them after the pass is opened. However, we can see here that SWS is pretty much taken it at this point. Let's go down south to Polanos. We have Dawn and Moon versus VH, or I should say Squiggly VH and Hyphen VH. Now, this is pretty much a stalemate, or at least kind of even out, but Dawn taking a little bit more territory, as we can see here that Squiggly VH and Hyphen VH are turtled up here, or at least defending this pass. I don't know if there's any bastions that are down yet. I don't see any, but really this is kind of where the choke is at the moment. And I don't know how long it's lasted here, but neither side has been pushing. So it may just end up as a stag or a stale, because now we're starting to build into Zone 3, as you can see Telemachia with the passes opening. Okay, let's move over here to SOS 1-12, or DSA Dos. I can do it too, right? My lady would be proud of me. Okay, let's go to Polanos. Here we have VP22 versus 28RA. Now, in this group, we could pretty much see the disrespect that 28RA has applied by going all the way to VP22's gate and not leaving any space at all. However, be brave. You be brave. You be aggressive. Be aggressive. You can do it. It just felt right. It came to me. Let's go to Sophrostia. Here we have Seal and SLDP versus VPJ and VP22. Again, VP22 and VPJ pretty much getting pushed back to their side, with Seal and SLDP taking the W there in Sophrostia. Then we go over to Nivola, and we have LGF and GD versus Seal and SL88, with Seal and SL88 pretty much getting pushed nearly back to their passes, with GD and LGF taking the W there in Nivola. As we go over to Agoru, we have RR versus LGF and GD, and here we can pretty much see, I think it is, where are we going? Oh yeah, sorry. Utter disrespect again from RR, or sorry, in this zone, from RR though, on the GD pass. And then really nothing's happening here. It doesn't look like they're pushing, even though probably they could if they were able to push northwest. So that's what's happening there, and they're taking over Agoru. All right, let's go ahead and go to SOS 1-13 to see how this one's playing out. Now, there could be three regions I think we have here for some PvP action going on. We're going to end up starting with Agoru on the right side, which is going to be YBDO_O, because it's just funny. It's OH under apostrophe big O, right? So I just thought that would be hilarious. If you got it, you got it. They're going up against Bossy and Boss. And so we have YBD, and you can see them pushing Boss and Bossy pretty much, I guess, back, or at least they are back to their passes at the moment, with that group for YBD and O_O, or sorry, O''O, taking the W there. Let's go up to Nivola, and here we have AXT. It's coming. Water. There we go. We got AXT, AXR going up against Bossy. And we could see here that Bossy has pushed both of them pretty farther back to the terrain or the valley chokes here. But no one's really kind of pushing on one side or the other. Also isn't a bastion down here. And then if we go up here to the northwest choke, again, no bastion here, but they're just kind of chilling. So maybe they just, decided to, shake hands. With this one here in Sophrostia, you could see here that we have JNJB going up against AXT and them pretty much getting pushed back with JNJB taking the W there. Moving on to SOS1-14, and here we have two regions, Sophrostia and Nivola. We'll start with Sophrostia. We have HOPX going up against KD75 and 75C exclamation point. Yep, that was it. And we can see here that pretty much HOPX has been pushed back and KD75, 75C are taking over Sophrostia. Then we have Nivola, so we're going to go up north. Here it's RVO going up against KL7. And I would say KL7 for the most part is getting pushed back a little bit more, but it hasn't been too massive at this point. And so you could see, I don't know if we have a bastion that's gone down. Don't see one on either side. I guess this doesn't look like the other side is really pushing them back anymore. And they're just kind of, I guess, stagnating. This kind of reminds me of like the Echo situation where they're just kind of chilling here on the Nivola Plateau, or at least on their level 2 Spire. But for the most part, again, it does look like RVO has taken a little bit more of the territory here. So, maybe we'll give a slight W out to them. But who knows if they're really even going head-to-head. As always, man, let me know if, again, what the matchups are there. I just didn't have any time to go and ask everyone specifically because that would just take a long time. And we're trying to keep it fresh up in her, if you will. What I do mean is just trying to keep it nice and efficient, if we will. Okay, here in SOS1-15, we got three regions. We'll start with Sophrostia. We have Go versus ATI. Now, here in this group, let me see where we're at. I believe we're down here. So Go has pretty much pushed ATI back and more or less taken over Sophrostia. There also is some action that's going on too, as well as there was when I think I saw earlier when I had the preview up and I saw that there was that little X going on. So there could have been some action. But let's go up north to Nivola. And here we end up having Club going up against HA12. So who knows on that? Doesn't look like Club is really pushing them anymore, but they have most of the zone 2, so we'll go ahead and throw Nivola to them. Then we get to Palanos. Let me see, I have to go all the way down here because I don't have anything to go. Excuse me. So here, this is SLR versus PAU and DAU. Now, there is some action going on here where I don't know what's going on if DAU and PAU are mounting a comeback, but they are destroying this SLR tower and have about 27 minutes on that bad grill. And then I can only imagine they're going to keep moving and going forward. Aside from that, right, we'll see how that ends up panning out. But you go, girls. Probably mostly guys, but it just sounds fun to say that. Okay, let's go to SOS1-6. We got 3 left. We're doing pretty good on timing. And for this one, we got 2 regions, Nivola and Palanos. So we'll start down south. In Palanos, we had ROA REO6 going up against View and BWS. Now, for this one, View and BWS have pretty much almost been pushed back to their passes, so we're really going to give the W over here to ROA and REO6 as they have made up most of the territory there in Palanos. Let's go up north to Nivola, and here we have RNW and APX versus LHZT and ROP. Now, RNW has made up most of the territory here, and then you have LHZT and ROP that have pretty much been pushed back. It doesn't look like there's really any additions going on, as far as I should say additional flagging. And then even here on the north side, it doesn't look like, or the northwest side here, no one's really pushing. I don't see any bastions either, so maybe they've just decided, hey, we're going to go ahead and start building into zone 3, so probably no need to really overextend at that point. Let's go into one of the last two, which is SOS1-17. As we get over here, we end up having Sophrostia and Nivola. So we'll start with Nivola up top. And this looked like it was DNG RUS versus Lucy or Lossie. And you can see here in yellow with Lossie, and then you can see on the other side with DNG. and if I can click correctly, RUS, but they're kind of in a similar situation as the last group, except they are touching over here, so I just don't know maybe how much action or not action is happening, because there's obviously nothing going on right now, so maybe it could just be a downtime, but they have made up most of the territory so far, so with them kind of getting a little bit more of a W there on Nivola. Now, let's go to Sofrostia, which, oh, lovely, my daughter's doing some cleaning right now. It's so kind. If we go to Sofrostia here, this is MFD versus RVEN, DDDDD, or sorry, Triple D, and SVR. Here in this one, though, you can see this is a little iffy, excuse me, to me, because on one hand, we have MFD that's come out from the North Only Alliance. RVN is kind of I guess they're just closer to their pass. But then if we zoom in, we could see that MFD, they were attacking something over here. I thought there was a flag I might have seen, but now they're not touching the rock. But then if we go up here, there's no attacking happening on either side. So maybe this kind of more so indicates that they're just having a good old time at that point. All right, let's go to the very last group here, which is SOS1-18. And we got 3 regions that may have seen some action here. We have the first one we're going to be taking a look at is Agoru. This is where we have USTFVP going up against RN and O2-A. Now, you can clearly tell that O2A and RN have been pushed back, with UST and FVP making up most of the territory there in Agoru, so getting that well-deserved W there. Let's go over to Polanos. In Polanos, we have Dusk versus IL-87 and V280. Now, in this case, with our Dusk, it looks like I could have a little less territory. I just don't know if they've been getting pushed back at this point to where they are. If they have, then are they just not fighting back? Because at the same time, you don't really see IL-87 doing any additional pushing at that point. And this actually might be Dusk. So it looks like they did. Yeah, so they did get pushed back a little, however much it may have been. And so they're just kind of stuck. But again, Zone 2 opened, so, I would imagine everyone's kind of, Zone 3, so everyone's kind of building up in that point. Then, from Agoru and Polanos, let's go over to Sofrostia. This will be the last one for us. And here, this was CFRA, STFO versus Mojo and Right. And you can see that Mojo and Right have pretty much get pushed back all the way to their passes, with CFRA pretty much just showing the disrespect by touching pass and spawn camping or gate camping. That's okay. You do you, boo-boo. And then on this side, we're not really getting anything at the moment. And that, once again, is probably because Zone 3 opens, so everyone's busy building out there. There we go. We got through it all. That is your Zone 2 recap for the 18 SOS1 KvK groups. Again, keep in mind, we may have not got all of the matchups accurate. We might have missed some. For any of those, please feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to update my sheet, along with if anyone wants to let me know what any of the Zone 3 matchups are going to be that maybe just aren't obvious, that would be lovely. And I guess probably so, because when I think about it, it would be nice to know what those are going to be, because given you can go in and cross multiple Zone 3s, it may not be just kind of a straight up this. It could also be others that are trying to come in through around the backside, or whether they branch left or right or clockwise, counterclockwise. So let your boy know. You can more than welcome to hit me up in DMs for those, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on how the Season 1s, or we should say the Season of Strife, Season 1 Zone 2s have played out so far. Any matchups you guys really liked watching? Any you were kind of shocked to see happen? Any that you were disappointed in? Let me know in the comments down below. That's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, we'll catch you later.